Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm going to be doing a simple video which I think is going to help many of you. It's a video on how to start budgeting. Let me tell you why I'm making this video. I have fallen behind in my budgeting. I've gotten into a bit more debt and I'll explain to you all of that in this video. I wanted to come up with a way that you can start your budget at home. Something very simple. It's just 3 pages, very easy. If you have no debt, it will just be 2 pages for you. I bought this inexpensive folder at Walmart for about 15 cents. Let me show you what's inside. To start off with the budgeting, you need a calendar. I printed this for free and I will try and leave you the links in the description box below if the links are allowed for you to print them. So make sure you check out the description. This is a September monthly calendar. I also printed my monthly budget sheet. I liked this one because it has income source, paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. It also shows expensive for paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. This is a simple way that I do my budgeting. I like to budget in a simple way. What bills are going to be paid with my first paycheck and then what bills are going to be paid with the second paycheck. I like to do it that way. I also printed this tracker, which is a debt payoff tracker. My debt has grew, so I'm gonna fill this out for you as well. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna have to take them out from the folder. I'm gonna start by highlighting. The way that I highlight is we're expecting a paycheck on September 1st. So I'm gonna highlight everything that's going to be paid with the first paycheck of the month. This would be paycheck 1 and the next one would be paycheck 2. No, I didn't want it to bleed through. This is paycheck 2. With this first paycheck, I go to the bank, I take out the cash, and I pay all of the bills that need to be paid off with this paycheck. For example, our mortgage. So I'm going to put mortgage. So I go with this money that I get here, I pay my mortgage, car loan. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Friends, I am back. So let me explain to you all where our first paycheck, where that income is going to go to. I made a small mistake here. I thought our mortgage was going to be paid on the 1st, but it's not. We do get paid on Friday, but that check, we already paid our mortgage with the second check of the month of August. So that's been paid for. So that's why I changed it to miscellaneous. If there's money left over, which there is, we can put that into additional snowball debt. 1, 2, 3, 4. It might seem like we're not paying as many things here. I am missing sewer. I feel like I'm missing something else. Credit card. Bills are going to be paid with the first paycheck. I go to the bank, get that money out, and distribute everything in my cash envelopes to these expenses. Then with the second paycheck, I'm going to pay mortgage, electricity, food, gas, sewer, and credit card. I'm hoping that this is understandable, that you're able to understand this, and I'm not making this too complicated. Only 2 forms that you will need to start your budget are a calendar. That way you're able to highlight the days that you get paid. You also need to make a list of all of your expenses, which I've done in the past. Make a list of everything that you pay for, even if you go out, even if you go to the movies often, if you're paying for Starbucks, anything that it is that you spend your money on, make sure that you make that list, and then you're going to add up all of the expenses, everything that you pay for, your bills and everything, including your bills, total that up. You're going to divide it by 2. That way you're able to split half of those expenses with your first paycheck and then half of your other expenses with your second paycheck if you get paid bi-weekly. That's how you're going to do it. Now, if you are overspending, for example, let's say your expenses are $1,200. You only get paid $500 bi-weekly. That's just an example. Your total income for the month would be $1,000, which means you are spending more than what you are making and you need to eliminate some of the expenses. So Starbucks no longer, or things that are not priority, you need to eliminate those. That was just a basic example. Once you have done the list of all your expenses, once you have wrote everything down on your monthly calendar, which I did paycheck 1, paycheck 2, I distributed all of the expenses, that what I'm going to be paying with this paycheck, what I'm going to be paying with this paycheck. This is the second page, my monthly budget. This is all you need to start a budget. You're going to put the month, your income source. I'll put paycheck 1, paycheck 2, expected, actual, and difference. Obviously, you don't really know what you're going to get paid unless you get paid the same salary amount. I guess I'm going to call it my second income for our household, since my husband is the breadwinner. He's the one that pays for mostly all the bills. I'm just trying to pay off debt with my income. So I'm just going to budget with his income, and then for other, I'll put mine, and everything that I'm earning, I'm trying to save it to pay off debt, or if we need more money for our household. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's do it together. Let's put the month of September here. There you go, September 2023. So my husband gets paid approximately $1,450. At least that's the income that I like to use to budget. It could be a little bit more, not too much. Actually, he's been working less hours, so he has to, I don't know how he does it, but he says he has like hours saved up like for holidays or sick days, and he uses that to cash them in to make the exact amount. That way we're able to pay all of our bills. So paycheck number 1 is $1,450. Paycheck number 2 is also $1,450. I get paid $558. So I'll go ahead and put that times 2, $1,116. Same amount, difference, none. So I'm going to leave these blank. For example, expense number 1 with the first paycheck, we have to pay our car loan. Budgeted amount is $450. Spent the same, and difference is 0. I thought this monthly budget form would be helpful for us. The budgeted amount is actually the same as spent, and there is no difference because I always like to pay $450, which our car payment is like $448. I don't even know the exact amount because I've been paying $450 for quite a while. So car loan, I'll put cell phone as well, $120. Internet, I think it's $69.86. I'm just gonna round it to $70. Water bill, our water has been about $38. I always put $40. It's $2 extra that I'm paying, but again, I don't mark it as a difference because those $2 that are left over, I like to leave them as credit for the next water bill. Food, $520 a month. Spent, I spend everything. Even the last dollar, I spend it. And if I don't, I save it and then we use it like to eat out. I buy my son some French fries, or if he's hungry, we're not at home, I buy him like a small Chipotle or something. He loves the rice from Chipotle, so I buy him that. I'm trying to save here, so we're trying to not spend as much. So that's food, and we do spend everything, so there wouldn't be anything different. Okay, paycheck number 2. I go to the bank, I get the money. By now I have already made my expenses list, and I know what's going to be paid with the first paycheck. I know what's going to be paid with the second paycheck. So as of right now, this is what gets paid with the first paycheck, and then second paycheck would be our mortgage. $900. Why did I put the dollar sign? I don't know. Mortgage is $880 something, I don't know, cents. The difference, I also leave it to pay the principal. So I pay that little extra to the principal. So I'm not going to put anything there. Mortgage, electricity. Our electric bill was pretty high last month. It was $282, I think it was. It was really high. I'll have to message my husband right now and ask him how much we had to pay. It was really expensive. Yeah, it was $282. $2.00. It was so expensive. We had to get money out of other places, and I told my husband, "Don't worry about it. We're just going to get money from another place." And he's like, "Well, which place, right?" He's probably wondering. Well, we had to cut back on a little bit on the groceries, get money from there. I always like to budget $200, and if it's less, I like to save that money in my cash envelope. This time, I didn't have any money saved up in my cash envelope since we've been having to spend it in other things. I don't even want to say the word, but I feel like I'm broke. Like I don't have any money left over. Okay, gas. Let's do gas now for our vehicles. Gas is $160. I thought this was going to be helpful, like paycheck number 1, paycheck number 2. Well, actually, gas I have to pay $80 in one check and $80 in the other, but I'm just going to put the total for the month of $160 in this area. Since I thought this monthly budgeting was going to be convenient for me, but I actually have more expenses and I would need additional lines down here. Sewer and credit card. So for the sewer, we save $80. Credit card is $100. Okay, I feel like I'm missing a couple of things. Car insurance on this one, but it doesn't fit here. What else? Internet, cell phone, I have that. We're just going to leave it. This is where you would put your total expenses, total budgeted, total spent, and total differences. So budget, I like to over budget, and spent is usually the same as what I budget for. I don't have so many extra money left over. Total difference, well, I guess you could say I do have a little bit. I've been using it to pay off debt. Okay, let me add these up. $2,986 if we were to use everything that I have on my list. Total budgeted should be $2,900. Total spent, we are overspending. Like if my husband were to pay everything, we are actually overspending. If I wasn't working, then things would be very difficult for us. So with the other paycheck, it's a total of $4,016. We're going to subtract the $2,900. Total spent, $2,986. So if I subtract the $4,016 from the $2,986, the difference is $1,030. This is how much money we have left over for the month of September. And with this cash that's left over, what I'm planning to do, now if I wasn't working, we would be at a negative of $86. And that's where we start using our credit cards and the debt starts going up. So this income that is left over, I'm going to use it to pay off debt. My credit card debt has been growing, and I think what happened was during the summer when I wasn't working, we still were spending as if I was working and I wasn't. Like we were spending as we had that as if we were having that extra income, and we no longer had that extra income. So this is what my monthly budget sheet looks like. Let me go to the next page. If you have debt, this would be the next page that you would be using. I printed this one off. This is a debt payoff tracker. I'm going to add up my debt, show you from there. So our total debt is $2,047 plus Target credit card. With this check that I'm going to get paid this week, I plan to pay the full amount for our Target credit card. $256.94 would be about 15%, so I'll go ahead and color this in here. It'd be helpful, I think, if there was like a spot where you can subtract what you're paying. So our just to write in the balance, it's going to be $2,045. That's what my balance is going to be. And then what I'm going to do right now, put everything back in my folder. I want this one to be my first page. These are going to be the only 3 sheets of paper that you need to start your budgeting. And add the one with the list of all of your expenses. You can also eliminate the debt tracker if you don't have any debt, which I hope that you don't. And if you do, that's okay, because that's why you're making a plan. That's why you're budgeting to pay it off. But if you don't, wow, do not get into debt. That would be my advice to you all. But sometimes it's something that we have to do. We have to get into debt in order to pay some things off. That's something that my husband just told me, because I forgot to include something, but I'm going to do a video on our current debt, and I totally forgot. I just remembered right now. We just bought a washer and dryer because the one we had broke after 17 years that we had them. So I'm gonna have to add that to our debt, but I'll do that in another video. That way I can add everything up, like every little cent that we owe. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. I hope that this video was helpful. This is our monthly budget for the month of September, how we plan to pay our expenses, which this wasn't a great example for a monthly budget sheet since it had these other 2 unnecessary spots here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless each and every one of you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye.